I'll see if I can show you my games.
Oh yes, that will be really interesting uh, because then we can analyze again and improve your openings. Make you a stronger player. So, would you like maybe see some openings? What would you like to see today? Do you,
Wait, what is it?
would you like to maybe work in some openings or end games? What would you like to do today?
Um, I reckon maybe some what is it? I reckon just some openings would be good.
Okay. Okay. Just a moment. With black pieces or white pieces?
Wait, could you please say that again?
Say, would you like to study some openings to play with black or white pieces?
Uh, I reckon I'd like to do some playing with black.
Okay, black. Okay. Okay, to play some defense when we play with black pieces, obviously the first move is e4, and then maybe d4 is other must command move in the first move for white. Okay, in high level, you can see maybe knight f3 is ready openings, and sometimes obviously c4 opening. Okay, we're gonna start today with e4, and against e4, I recommend to play when you start to study the opening c5 or e5, and when you have some experience, maybe e6. Everything depends on your style. If you like play um, tactical games, interesting to play c5. Bobby Fischer plays c5 always in his career, and Gary Kasparov played the Sicilians defense too. For example, after c5, white play usually knight f3, and now we have several move here. Knight c6, e6, this move, this, e6, knight f6. But in high level, many players make this move, d6. The idea of this move is try to play against the center after d4, c take on d4, knight take d4, and knight f6, attacking the e4 pawn. This is the open Sicilians. Obviously, white can play in different way, and many players after d6, when they don't study maybe some theory, play bishop c4. But it's not a problem for us because we can play e6, and now we are controlling this diagonal. The bishop on c4 is not dangerous here. If you play, for example, d3, we can play knight f6, short castle, bishop e7. And if he played, for example, knight c3, we can play short castle, and we have a good position for black. Now we have an idea to play in some moment knight to d4, and maybe try to explore the c5, for example. If he played rook here, he can play wave, and now play like this. And we are controlling now, for example, the c file. We can play with the bishop here. Now our idea is to play in some moments a5 and a4, and play rook to c8, queen to c7, and try to attack c2 pawn. We have a good position to play with black pieces. For this reason, I think that the move bishop c4 this moment is not a good idea for white. Many players make bishop to check the Moscow variation, but here we can simply play bishop to d7, and after exchanging bishop, we can take with the queen, and now play in the way f6, for example. Knight to c6, for example, or g6 here. We can use the fianchetto to play here, and after this move, play in this way, for example. This is other idea to play. Now we can play with the bishop to g7, and then short castling, and maybe play to the queen side with rook c8, maybe queen to a5. So other move here after the move d6, we just simply play the move d4 and knight f6. Okay, this is the open Sicilian. Black's playing knight c3, and now we can choose here for play a6, for example. This is the Nader variation played by Bobby Fischer many games, and Kasparov too. Another ways to play other main line here is g6, with the idea to fianchetto in the king side and then short castle. This is the dragon variation. So after, I know that your favorite player is Bobby Fischer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, a6 I think is the best choice here. Fischer played many games in this way. So after a6, white can play Sibera and Sibera white here. The most common move is bishop to g3 and to g5. Other move, bishop to e2, and in the modern fashion, many players use h3 with the idea to play g4 in this way. Okay, but we're gonna start with the bishop to e3. How to play here? Okay, the Nader variation. In the Nader variation, blacks play in the center with the move e5. And after knight to b3, we want to play bishop to e6 with idea to bishop e7 and short castle. Okay, in this kind of position, it's really important to know what is good pieces and bad pieces for both sides. For example, a good piece for white here is the bishop on e3 and the knight on c3. Why the bishop? Because on e3, because the plane of white is trying to play f3 and then play on the king side. So if I play f3, white has some problem the mm, black square, weakness on the black square. For this reason, the bishop on e3 is important. It's an important piece. In many variation, white play f3, controlling the jump of the knight to g4 because it's on the air. This move intending to exchange the knight for the bishop. Okay, this bad pieces for white. Okay, the knight on b3. The problem for this knight because the knight can play the d4 controlling by the pawn on e5 and the pawn on e2 controlling c5 as well. So the knight on d3 is out of game. And other problem here is the bishop, the light square bishop for white because there is a pawn on e4 and the bishop can play good and can use the c4 square to play. For this reason, the only move maybe is bishop to e2 or maybe bishop to d3, intended to play maybe in the future f4. But usually the light square bishop for white is bad places in this variation. Okay, about black, good pieces for black. Okay, the knights in the knight are really important. The knight on f6 and the knight on b8 can go to usually to d7 in the knight variation, and then use the square b6 or maybe c5. Other good pieces is the bishop on e6 because it's controlling the critical square here for black is d5. And okay, bad pieces for black is the black square bishop because it's not playing. Maybe can play that's only bishop to e7. Okay, the bishop is defending the weak on d6, the pawn on d6 because it's split. But usually is not a good piece for black. A strategy for black in the knight variation is try to play knight to d7, then rook to c8, and then play b5, intending to attack on the queen side, and use the c4 square maybe for the knight, play maybe knight to b6 and knight to c4, and the queen goes to c7, and blacks put pressure again on the c file. The problem for black in this pawn structure is the d5 square, and on the weakness on this square is important. But if we have maybe a knight controlling the bishop on e6 or the knight on f6, it's not a problem. It's not a big problem for black. And the d6 pawn is always defended by the bishop on f8, the black square bishop. So, okay, we have a weakness in the pawn structure, but we have compensation using the c file with the major pieces, rooks and queen, and then use our knight because we have for example, c4 square and c5 or b6. So I would like to show you an example. For here, bishop to e6, f3, bishop to e7, for example, queen to d2, and long castle. So we have opposite castle in here. The attack is directly. So black has to play on the queen side and white on the queen side. I think that's we were working in this position in other lessons. Here, blacks can play in different way. Okay, the most common move is, for example, okay, the most common move is knight to d7. But other idea is queen to c7, intending to go the c file quickly, d4, and rook to c8. Do you remember what is the best move for white here?
Listen, you shouldn't talk back. I would have got in so much trouble when I.
After rook c8, what is the idea of black?
Why?
Um,
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you show me?
the idea is to like attack c2.
Yes, attack on c2. The main idea for black in this position is try to play d5. Because c2, we have the queen and the rook on the c5 attacking the c2 square. So here in this position, white has to play accurate, because if white play, for example, here h4, now we have a center counterattack, playing d5. Now we can see the idea of black. After d take on d5, knight take on d5. So the move is knight take on d5. We can take with the bishop. And now the bishop on d5 is untouchable, because we are attacking the c2 pawn, right?
Yeah.
This is not possible to grab the bishop, because we made it one move, taking on c2. So, and we are attacking the f3 pawn, double attack to the rooks, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the only move here for white is maybe bishop to e2, but position I6, black has the initiative. Black has advantage in this position, because in the pawn structure, black has not weakness. Now white has weakness on f3. It has problem on the c file, because now, for example, what is the good here for black? The good move for black continues there.
Okay. You could play bishop takes on b3.
Okay, bishop take on b3. What is your idea after a take on b3?
I thought the queen wasn't there. Yeah, never mind.
Okay, the problem here maybe is that without the bishop on d5, okay, if I take on b3, the bishop on d5 is playing because it's attacking the f3 pawn and it's attacking on the diagonal, on this diagonal, attacking the queen side. But the knight on d3 is not playing in it's not busy for white. So it's not a good idea to exchange a good black pieces for a bad white pieces. So other move maybe a good idea here is try to attack with a5. The bishop on d5 is untouchable because we are playing queen take on c2. So I think that now white can move it the pawn on a2 because we simply grab a knight on b3, and because the pawn on c2 is fitted. So the only move I think maybe king to b1, but now we can continue with our pawn attack. For example, maybe playing a4. Okay, it's the knight go to a1. Okay, the knight is out of game completely. So I think the move is knight to c1, but here we can continue with our pawn. For example, a3. And now black is intending to open the a5 and attack with the rook, right?
Yeah.
So what is the problem of this move here? Okay, suppose that I play maybe b3. Now white has other ways. This square, right?
Yeah.
So I think black is has good position. Black can play in different way here. For example, black can develop his knight. Maybe where c6? No, to c6 not because the bishop is hanging on d5, right?
Yeah.
But maybe to a6 is possible.
Could you play queen to c3?
Now?
Queen to c3.
Queen to c3. Exchanging queens?
No.
Yeah, my idea is to play maybe queen to c3, but I don't want to exchange queens in this position because I think that we can take on a stronger attack against the white king. Maybe this move. Look at maybe knight to a6. The idea is go to b4 with the knight. The bishop is untouchable because he played this move, check, and mate, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, despite everything, I think that white can play c4, but this dangerous move, c4. For example, c4. We can go with the bishop, for example, here. Bishop to a6. And we have a good position here. For example, if he continues with the attack, okay, this move, we can use now our knight maybe to b4 instead. One idea. Now, in some moment, we can play b5, intending to open the c5 to attack. Since black is okay. I don't know what he thinks, but yes, it's an equal position. Knight to d3, rook to d8. That's a good position for black. Is interesting position. Maybe here. Oh, here there is a move stronger. Maybe stronger is here in this position is after c4 is bishop to c6. Same idea. Okay, because we continue to attack f3 pawn. So if he played e5, for example, rook to d8, it's one idea. And if he played queen to c3, bishop to b4. Yes, we have advantage with black here. Yes, always the position is better for black because, okay, in this position, black has a good pawn structure because there is no weakness. And white has weakness on the pawn structure. For example, f3 is a weakness. So I would like to show you maybe some games in this position. After from variation, g4 and h4. Moment. So, but okay, h4 is not a good idea. Therefore, other move here instead h4 is king to b1. It's possible to play now d5.
Possible play. Wait, d5 with the pawn.
What happens if I play d5?
Okay. Um,
After king to b1 seems to be that white can take all on d5, right?
yeah.
But there is a problem for white here. This tactical motive here. After d5, e taken d5, knight taken d5, exchange knights, bishop taken d5, queen taken d5. Okay, I think it doesn't work queen taken c2 because white can play king to a1, right?
Yeah.
And there is no mate on the back rank because it's controlled by the knight on b3 and the rook on d1. But after queen take on d5, there is other problem for white. Well, let me show you. d5, pawn take on d5, knight take on d5, knight take on d5, bishop take on d5. In this position, okay, maybe the only move is b2 here. But what happens if I play? If I grab the bishop with the queen? Queen taken c2 it doesn't work because king to a1. But maybe black can try other move here.
Rook to d8.
Right, this is a stronger move. Right, very good. Rook to d8. Yeah. White's in trouble because the problem is the rook on d1. So now I think the only move is give the queen for a rook and the minor pieces. But I think there is not enough compensation by the queen because blacks can play simple development his pieces and then continue with attack on the queen side and use knight and bishop. I think that in this position, okay, it's not a big advantage for black, but blacks has initiative and in the future can win the game without any problems. So I think that's so I think here after king to b1, b5. I played again in this position. Bishop to e2. Now, can black continues with a5 in this position? Can I play a5 with black?
I think that you can play a5.
Yes, it's possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here I think. Okay, if you play maybe queen take on d5, we can take the pawn, and after this move, we can simply take the bishop on e2, right?
Yeah.
And if you play this move, we can grab the pawn. It's an interesting position here. I don't know. Let's say computer in this position, but yes, black is better here, but not taking this move. Now, let me show here if there is something here. Take. Oh, simply go to a6 in this position. Okay, taking it, queen take here. Now simple knight to c6. Yes, it's advantage for black in this position.
Stuart Marcus. Hello.
Yeah, I think in this kind of position, black is always better because we have opposites castling and black king has no problems, and white has some problem with queen side because we are intending to play maybe a4 and a3 again, attacking to b2. So I think black is better in this position. Well, so the line seems to be good for black, but I think that the only move here in this position is not h4 and rook to b1. Okay, there is other variation that I would like to show you. After king to b1, d5. Other interesting move here is g5, attacking the defender of d5, the knight on f6. So in this position, we need to play, I think, one move is d4 here. I don't know if it was played by some, this position. Yes, d4 is the move. Pawn take on f6. And now bishop take on f6, or take on c3 is possible. I would like to find maybe some game in this position. Just let me, after g5, let me see. Maybe it was played by the stronger. g5 is possible. What happened here? No games here. Maybe here. Let me show sheet 5. There is some games. We have a game here, try it. So after this move, we have a game played by two grandmasters. D4, pawn take on E3. Now queen take and bishop take on F6. Okay, this kind of position is good for black because we have a pair of bishop. The knight on B3 is not playing, sort of gain, and now we continue to attack the C2 pawn. Yes, it's possible to play here. Bishop to D3, knight to D7, knight to D5, and king to D8. Now I think the problem for white is that has two bad minor, the knight on D3 and the bishop on D3, and has some problem on the black square. And white has a weakness because there is no the bishop, the black square bishop. This is a problem for white in this variation against the knight of. Simple play in this way, defending the position, and I think okay, black is winning because it has a pawn up and position is better too. And in the neither defense, when you arrive to the end games, black has always counterattack, and it's difficult to white win against the knight operation. Because always black has the c5 it's really important to use. For example, in this position, black win an easy game. Okay, and we check on c3. So I would like to show you a game played by Kasparov in the neither variation, because Kasparov played a game. So this position, you can see that is played by a stronger grandmaster. Kasparov played many games. For example, Carson played too. Let me show you some interesting game. Let me show you this game played by Kasparov against Kirill Georgiev, grandmaster for Bulgaria. So after f3, bishop to e7, queen to d2. Other move for black here is knight to d7. You can play in several ways. It's not the only move, queen to c7 and rook to c8. This is one idea that I would like to show you because you can use the c5. But I would like to show you other fashion move, knight to d7, g4, and now h6. What is the idea of this move? Black is delaying the short castle. Black is intending to play first on the queen side, intending to attack the white king, and then maybe play short castle. In this game, Kasparov played a fantastic game. After h4, okay, since that's white playing e5, so b5, rook to g1, knight to b6. Now the knight on d6 can go to c4, d5, knight f to d7, and knight to d5. Okay, this is an important moment. When white play knight to d5, with black pieces usually exchange the bishop on e6 on d5. Important to remember that, okay, the knight on c3 is a good piece for white, and the good black piece is the bishop on e6. So we can exchange this this is the knight. And now after d take on d5, we have no more problem with the d5 square and the d6 pawn. Yes, obviously we have the problem with the black square bishop, but we can try to play with the bishop play maybe bishop to d8 and d6 in the future. H take on g5, Kasparov played. H take on g5, rook to c8, and Kirill Georgiev played knight to a5. The strategy of this move is try to use the weakness on c6. But Kasparov played in this way. Knight take on d5. What happened if white play queen take on d5?
Black will play queen takes on a5 check.
Yes, this is a problem. So, but I think that Georgiev thinks that play knight to a5 is a good idea because he has an intermediate move, knight to b7, attacking the black queen. But as part of surprise, him playing knight take on e3, exclamation move. Kasparov sacrificed the queen. But in this kind of position, the most important is how the pieces can play. So, for example, after queen take on d8, Kasparov played check with the knight, queen into d1. Kasparov took the rook, knight to b7, and knight to c2, and g6. And Kasparov played knight to d4. What do you think about this position?
I think that black is winning, and white's knight is pretty much trapped and isn't that useful.
Yeah, right. The white knight on b7 is trapped. And other problem for white is that, okay, white has the queen but has no active pieces. and blacks can use the knight on the stronger knight on d4, can use the rook on the c file, the rook on h file, can use the pawns, for example, in the center. The pawn on f3 is hanging. So I think that black has enough compensation by the queen. So Kirill Georgiev took the pawns on f7. Kasparov played king to f7, bishop to d3. Okay, it's a good move. White needs to active some pieces because has problems in this position. g5, queen to g2, and knight to f6. Sacrificing the pawn on d5, but I think it's really dangerous to grab this pawn, and rooks to g8. Okay, the only move is bishop to g6 check, and king to f8. Now all the black pieces are playing. The rook on h file on g5 are playing, and white has problem on the g5 because the bishop is spinning. So here you play knight take on d6, and this stronger move, rook to h5, queen to g2, and simply grab the knight. Now black is completely winning because has rook and two minor pieces by the queen, so and e4. Obviously, it's not easy to win because the queen is powerful, can make maybe severe check, and it's not easy to win. But Kasparov playing really good in this position. Now seems to be that the bishop, and we have this kind of endgame. What do you think? What is the idea to win this endgame for black? If you have this kind of position with black pieces and play with black pieces, what is your idea? Because I know that we have a rook and two minor pieces by the queen, so we have material advantage. But how we can use it in position?
Like king to f7.
King to f7 is a good, yes, it's a good move defending the rook. But in the future, okay, king to f7 is a move, but in this kind of position, we need to find a good plan win. Because okay, we have these three pieces, but okay, the queen can, white can use queen to grab the pawns on the queen side and then move the pawns on the queen side, the A pawn on B pawn. So I know now, I can see the plan of white is maybe play queen to c8 and then queen to a6, queen grab the pawn on b5, and then use the queen side pawns and try to remove a pawn. This is the plan of white. So, in this kind of position, we have a stronger passed pawn on the center. This pawn. So, when you have this kind of position, you need to use your passed pawn. So, the idea of black is try to remove this pawn. Maybe we need to put in the rooks behind the pawn and go to queen, for example. Kasparov playing king to f7, queen to f2, king to e6, and queen to b6. And now he prepared the passed pawn. This is the idea. Passed pawn, the rook behind the pawn, and now try to promote this pawn. This is the way to win this kind of position. It's important to know this the plan. We need to find a good plan to winning position, because sometimes we have good positions, but we play bad, and in finish that we can win this position. So okay, there are some checks for white. It's important to see how Kasparov used his pieces, and he goes to protect his king. And now the king is protected. On c5 has safe place for the king, and now tactical move. What happened is white take the rook.
Just let you know.
White takes the rook.
Yes, if white.
Then black plays knight to f4.
Yes, right. It's table attack. So queen to d8, rook to g2, king to d3, rook to d2, king to e4, and simple e2. And now it's not possible to stop the pawn. Okay, there is some check, but when the check finishes, it's not possible. And Kirill Georgiev resigned this position, because after queen take on d2, we remove, and we have knight and bishop, and it's easy to win. So this is a good game played by Kasparov with the Najdorf variation on the Sicilian. Okay, there are other variations for white, not only bishop to e3. We have variation, interesting move for white is played bishop to e5. So in this case we use e6 move. It's a good move, not e5. When the bishop is on the g5, or the bishop is on c4, we always play with black pieces e6 and not e5. We used to play only e5 when the pawn are on, when the other pieces are, for example, bishop e3, we can use e6 too, but here we can use the move e5. If white play bishop to e2, again we can play e5. If white play maybe g3, we can use e5. And if white play h3, again we can use e5. Always we play e5 with the Najdorf variation. This is the Najdorf variation, pawn structure, with the e5, d6, and a6. But when white play bishop to g5. It's important to know that e5 is not a good idea because if we play this move, the problem in this kind of position is that white can play this kind of move, intending to go to e3 and then to d5. Sorry, to d5. And we have some problems here with the knight on f6 because it's spinning and the d5 square. So for this reason, after bishop to g5, we play e6 or maybe queen b to d7, this other move, interesting move. Yes, well, we play maybe e6. Interesting move here is, okay, f4, intending to use e5, but here there is a move, an interesting move, knight to c6, and after exchanging knight and e5, we just simply go with h6, bishop to h4, and g5. Interesting move, because if white take the pawn, okay, could take the pawn on f5, but we go with the knight to d5. And now the pawn on g5 is spinning because the bishop is hanging on h4. So the only move here is knight to e4, and now we play with the queen to b6, intending to play queen to b2, check and grab the knight or the bishop on the 4th rank. So we have an interesting position here for black. We will study this kind of position in our future lessons, and I will try to send you some material later to study. Okay, and other move is bishop c4 in this position, and we use e6 again. Because we are stopping the bishop pressure against this diagonal and f7. So after e6, the move here is, for example, bishop to b3. And now we can use, for example, b5 and d4. This is an interesting line for black. We play on the queen side and we play against the knight because the knight is out of game. It's on the side of the board, and now we usually play, maybe blacks play bishop to e7, a short castling, and then continue with his development. So, for example, if you play now something like, for example, a3, we can use this move. If you play here, bishop to e7, if you took, we just took here. We have an interesting position to play with black pieces. This kind of move is not a problem because we can use knight to c6, and after exchanging knight, we have a good bishop that put pressure on e4, continues to attack the white knight on a4. So I think that black has a pretty good position in here. So this is a line to play, maybe interesting line to play against bishop to c4. In other variation with bishop e2, we can use a simple move, for example e5, and now play bishop to e2, short castling, bishop to e3, and we play in the same way, play knight to d7, rook to c8, b5, the queen can go to c7, and the future the knight to b6 and c4. This is the plan for black, always the same. Another variation, the same situation, g3, e5, and again we can use the bishop to e6, bishop to e2, and play in this way. Again with b5, for example. Now knight to d7, rook to ca. And now we can delay the short castling and play at first on the queen side. It's important maybe to gain space on the queen side and then short castling, because it's not a problem. Now the black is safe on the center because there is no. I think that white can use any move to attack the black king in the center. So we can stay on the center, play first on the queen side, try to put our pieces in good squares, active square, and play dynamic on the queen side, and then short castling. H3 is Fischer variation with white pieces. Famous game played by Fischer against Najdorf. But here we can use e6 is one move. Another move is e5 to play e5. Okay. And now we can use this move. H5, intending to stop g4 and play. Okay, if he goes to b3, now we can use bishop to e6. I6 is better. But if he goes with the knight to e2, white is intending to play g4. Idea: knight to g3, bishop to e3, short castle and f4. This is the idea of white idea, but we can stop it with playing h5. Now, okay, play maybe g3, and now we play simple here, simple chess. Again, taking the control on the queen side and playing a game like this. The king is safe on the center, so we can use active move, development move, and then maybe short casting. There is no problem. So this is some theory of the Najdorf, some idea of the Najdorf variation to play with black pieces. Okay, it's important to know that we need to find maybe some games of Fischer, Kasparov. I think that's Fischer and Kasparov. We need to see all the games played by them to understand how to play the Sicilian Najdorf defense. You have chess base, yes?
Yes.
Okay, you can use your database, for example, like this. It's simple. I will show you. Just wait a moment. You can use and play the first move, for example, d6, d4, take, play this move. Okay, you have another variation here. Now you can use your database, for example. Open your database and you go to filter here, advanced, and use position here, and you can copy board, and you got the same position. Can you see it?
Yes.
And now here in game data, you can play with black pieces, Fischer, for example, Fischer, Robert. And now the database find all the games played by Bobby Fischer. He got all the games. And you have many games. And you can see that Fischer was really stronger with the Najdorf defense. and simple. You can see all the games and understand how to play the Najdorf with black pieces. When I was 11 years old, I was studying the Najdorf. Simple. I simply use a book from Bobby Fischer, and I saw all. I study all the games played with black pieces, all the Najdorf game. Okay, Black Sweeney has the sub and attack. There are many games of Bobby Fischer with the Najdorf. Okay, I'll be waiting for you the next lesson, and I will send to you now some material of the Najdorf to the email by your mama. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. See you. Good luck in the tournament.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.